Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode here on European Confessions. The following story that you're going to be listening to, it was sent to me by one of our dear sister who gave us this translation. The message reads like this. Hello, Brother Nashi, how are you? Can you please post my own story as hidden identity? Please call me Pastor David, not my real name. So for many years, I was a man who was an honest servant of God. I was preaching the gospel with such sincerity, and I cared deeply for my congregation, and I trusted in no one but in God's provision. But somewhere along the way, I lost my way, and today I want to confess the decisions that I made and the weight of the guilt that I now carry. At that time, my wife, she was really sick, so we would go to the hospital. So we started by going to the government hospitals. Then we saw that she was not getting proper medical attention. That was when I said, since we have our medical plan, let us go to the private. When we went there, within a very short period of time, the money that we had, it had ran out, and I was confused. I did not know what to do. We returned back to the government hospitals. Unfortunately, my wife then passed away. When my wife passed away, I think that was when I totally lost it and I lost my way. But today, I want to confess about the decisions that I made and everything that has been happening in my life. It is not an easy life that I am living, always going around knowing that you are carrying this burden in your heart and this guilt that keeps on eating at you almost on a daily basis. So it all began about 8 years ago. At that time, like I told you, I had a small church in Johannesburg. The congregation was not big, it was not large, but they were very faithful and we were growing together spiritually. I did not have much, but I was content, believing that God was going to provide for me and to provide for my family. This was going to happen all in due time. But as the years went by, I started feeling the pressure of financial struggles, struggling to pay even the church bills, struggling to maintain even my own home, my household, and constantly worrying about how we were going to survive. That was when my wife got so sick. It was as if God was striking me down when I was already down and I wanted his help. My wife got so sick so much that I did not even know what to do anymore. I would cry out unto God, but God was not responding back to me. Then there came an opportunity. It was like an opportunity that was going to change everything. Though this opportunity did not change me in the way that I had hoped. It was one Sunday, there was this other wealthy businessman who came to my church. He had heard me preach and approached me after the service. This man, he spoke with me and he told me that he wanted to donate a significant sum of money to my ministry. I was overjoyed because that was all that I needed, thinking God had finally answered my prayers for provision, but there was a catch. This man told me that I should come to his office. When I went to his office, to my surprise, there was another man who was there, a man of the cloth, a man that goes to another church. He then asked me to start preaching the prosperity gospel, and the moment that I started talking with that man, with this accent, I immediately knew where he came from Western Africa. Here he was telling me that in order for this donation to be processed, I had to preach the prosperity doctrine. At first, I was like, this thing that we are doing, why does it sound so illegal? Because of the way that the man was speaking, and as if he was checking around like there were people that were listening. He made me to feel very uneasy. And I did not want to do it because this prosperity gospel had never sat right with me. It seemed to distort the true message of Christ, turning faith more into a transaction. If you gave the church, you will receive material wealth in return. He laughed at me. And as we were speaking, I knew in my heart that this was not the core of the gospel that I liked to preach. But this other guy, the businessman, persuaded me, and he told me that if I did not adapt my message, my church was never going to grow. People will never come to a poor church. They want a big church where a pastor drives a very beautiful car. My ministry would always remain small and insignificant. Only my relatives will come to my church. I convinced myself that it was not so bad. After all, many pastors were preaching this message and the churches were booming. I rationalized that if more people came to my church, I could reach more souls for Christ, even if the messages had to be tweaked. So I accepted the offer, and the man gave me a large sum of money to invest in the ministry, and I began preaching what people wanted to hear, that God would bless them financially if they gave all that they were getting paid to the church. Within a very short period of time, my congregation grew rapidly. The money came, and with that came the trappings of wealth. I bought a new car, and I moved with my sons into a large house after my wife had passed away. I got remarried, and now when I got remarried, I did not choose a woman from church. I went out into the world and I chose a woman that my heart desired, and I expanded the church into a mega ministry. From the outside, it looks like everything is going well, but inside, I am a man that is conflicted. I know that I am not preaching the truth anymore, and I am not preaching about sacrifice, humility, or the challenges of following Christ. Instead, I have reduced the gospel of Christ to a formula for getting rich. The deeper that I get into this false doctrine, the more that I have realized that my people, they are not growing spiritually. They are just coming to church for the wrong reasons. And I can see the infighting. Those that are making money, they are the ones that are given positions, and I am the one who set that trend. So now I cannot go back and say that this is very wrong. Like they are treating God like a vending machine that can spit out blessings in exchange for their offerings. I see people that are falling into debt in my church. I try to help them out because I feel so bad for them, because whenever they give to the church, they will be hoping for financial miracle that sometimes will never come. Like when it does, sometimes I don't know if it is just luck or what would have happened. Others, they give like everything they have. Some they leave when they are disappointed. A lot of corruption. Guys that are into corrupt deals, they are the ones that are always in front of the church as if they are being blessed by God. But I know the deals that they will be doing. I am someone who is wealthy, and I keep on telling people that the reason as to why I am wealthy like this, it is because I believe in the gospel that I preach, yet I know that I am misleading people. There was even this other day when I was busy sitting in my luxurious living room, I felt the voice of the Holy Spirit. I felt the Holy Spirit touching me. And when the Holy Spirit touched me, I started to cry. I cried so hard, but then I told myself that even if I cry as much as I want, but if I stop preaching this gospel, people will stop coming to my church, and that will mean that hunger and poverty will revisit my home once more. So I ignored the Holy Spirit. Hi, dear listeners, right there was a message that was sent to me by one of our dear brother. Please let us try to assist him in the comments section. Strange things indeed they do happen in this world.